Interestingly enough, the press reports suggest that the opposition and the veto was primarily to make the statement that the Security Council shouldn't be where these resolutions are made and resolved, even though the United States may not be as opposed to the resolution as it sounds like, which is an interesting fence to walk. Do you think the long-standing support of the United States for Israel, is it primarily a matter of oil? Is it primarily a matter of history and commitment? Is it primarily a matter of politics? I mean, as a very interested observer, how do you describe this phenomena?
Well, first of all, every nation, every state has the right to resort to the United Nations. That's why they established the United Nations, for countries and nations to seek the help of the United Nations. The United States of America went to the UN Security Council many times over the last 10 years to justify their invasion of Iraq, their invasion of Afghanistan, Bosnia, everywhere. So why, when Israel is involved, resorting to the United Nations becomes unhelpful and not constructive? I think we are entitled to go to the United Nations. And we decided to do that after we gave enough time to the administration to convince Israel to stop its illegal settlement activities, after the international community has failed, and after Israel defiantly continued with their policies. Now, do we want the United States to abandon Israel? No, of course not. And I don't expect the United States to abandon Israel. I'm a realist. But if the United States does not take an even-handed, balanced approach to the conflict that focuses very much on its interests, its policies will further erode U.S. standing in the region and will undermine this interest in the region. What we want from the United States is a different approach. They have to be in a position, if the Palestinians are undermining their efforts to reach peace, they have to be in a position to say clearly, the Palestinians are undermining our efforts. They promised us to do that a few months ago. And when we accepted their invitation, came to the negotiations in September, 3 weeks later, Israel decided to continue its settlement activities after a so-called moratorium on settlement activities for 10 months. They didn't do that. When we asked them to be clear and decisive on certain issues, they didn't do that. So that's why we ended up resorting to the United Nations. We are looking at a process that started in 1991. The Madrid Peace Conference that was sponsored by the United States and Russia was held in 1991, 20 years ago. 20 years after, the Palestinians are still under occupation. Settlements have doubled and tripled. The number of settlers in 1991 was below 125,000. Today it's 500,000. So what do you expect from the Palestinians? We have to answer to our people. Our leadership has to answer to the people. They either deliver or they don't deliver. If they don't deliver, they have to open the door or open the way for other leaderships to continue the struggle for independence and freedom. But we cannot continue to fool our people and tell them there is a process, there is a peace process, and every day what they see is building settlements, continued Israeli military occupation, humiliation, and oppression.